Hello, student. This is Dr. Yogita. I'm having total of 18 years of teaching experience. We are going to discuss about one topic today. This is a short topic from 11th standard chapter, Structural Organization in Animal. You must be knowing the chapter has been well segmented into two parts. The initial part deals with animal tissues, where the later half of this chapter is focused over the animal morphology. I have taken a topic called cartilage from connective tissue. You must be knowing that connective tissue is the most abundant tissue in animal body, and this most abundant tissue has been distinguished into three major types: dense connective tissue, loose connective tissue, and specialized connective tissue. So let's start with this example of specialized connective tissue. Specialized connective tissue, wherein we are learning about skeletal connective tissue, and the other one is vascular connective tissue. Skeletal connective tissue, as the name indicates, that this particular tissue is forming skeleton of animal body. Skeletal connective tissue, wherein we are learning two example. First one is bone and the second example is cartilage. Both these structures, bone and cartilage, they are forming endoskeleton. So endoskeletal elements are two: bone and cartilage in higher animals. So that we are learning under skeletal connective tissue. The second category is vascular connective tissue. Today we are not going to discuss about vascular connective tissue, but I'll tell you what is this vascular connective tissue. Vascular connective tissue is mobile connective tissue. That means this is a connective tissue that flows through a defined pathway. And here, under this category, we are learning about two vascular connective tissue in our body. The first one is blood, and the second one is lymph. Our today's topic is cartilage. And what is cartilage? Just now, I've told you that the cartilage is skeletal connective tissue. And skeletal connective tissue is specialized connective tissue because it is specialized to provide support to the body. Cartilage, it is flexible than bone. We'll first understand TS of cartilage, generalized structure of cartilage. For that, I have drawn a diagram wherein I have shown the features which appears in TS of cartilage. So this is TS of cartilage. TS of cartilage. Now, a cartilage outer margin, it is covered with a membrane. Here I have shown that membrane. Its outer margin is covered with a membrane, and that membrane is called perichondrium. Peri, that means around. Chondrium, that means cartilage. So this is a membrane that covers the cartilage on its outer margin, and it is made up of connective tissue. In perichondrium, you're observing that there are many spaces, many gaps are seen, and these gaps are known as lacuna. Single gap is called lacuna. Many are called lacunae. So you are observing that I've drawn perichondrium at the outermost margin of cartilage. and it has got many spaces inside it. Each of these spaces is called lacuna. Many spaces are called lacunae. And this lacuna is filled with a fluid. And within this lacuna, a cell is found to be floating. The cell which is there in the lacuna of perichondrium is known as chondroblast. Chondroblast. Chondroblast is a cartilage cell. Blast, that means it is forming something. It forms prefix of this word, that is chondro, cartilage. So the cell is cartilage forming cell. Cartilage forming cell. The cell is cartilage forming cell. So you can see that the perichondrium has got lacunae within which chondroblasts are located. And these chondroblasts, they are responsible for growth of cartilage. Now, one thing is to be noted over here. Only one margin of cartilage has got perichondrium. And chondroblasts are seen only in the perichondrium. So cartilage growth is seen in one direction only. So I can write over here that the cartilage growth is unidirectional. Cartilage growth is unidirectional. Unidirectional, that means only on one side. So it is growing only on one side, in one direction, because only perichondrium is showing presence of chondroblast cells in its lacunae. The part of cartilage which is enclosed by perichondrium, which is protected by perichondrium, or we can say the part which is below the perichondrium. So here in a transverse section, this is a part that is covered by perichondrium, and this portion is known as matrix. It is also called ground substance. Ground substance. Matrix or ground substance. Now this matrix or ground substance, it is also exhibiting many similar spaces as that was seen within the perichondrium. These spaces are again called lacuna. Many are called lacunae. These lacunae are also filled with a cell. It has got fluid in it, and within that fluid, the cells are floating. But instead of one cell per lacuna, here you are observing each lacuna is showing minimum 1 and maximum 4 cells in it. So some lacunae, they are carrying 2 cells, some of them they are carrying 3 cells, some of them they are carrying 4 cells, and some of them they are having just 1 cell floating in a fluid. What are these cells called? Are they same cell? No, they are not chondroblasts. These cells, they are called chondrocyte. The cells are known as chondrocytes. Chondrocyte is a cartilage maintaining cell. Chondrocyte is cartilage maintaining cell. So I'll write over here, what is chondrocyte? Chondrocyte is cartilage maintaining cell. Cartilage maintaining cell. So this is a cartilage maintaining cell. So here we have seen that the cartilage is covered at its external margin by perichondrium. Perichondrium is nothing but a connective tissue sheath that has got many spaces inside it. And these spaces are holding a cell called chondroblast. Chondroblast is a cartilage forming cell, but responsible for growth of cartilage only in one direction. The perichondrium is enclosing a substance that is called matrix. And this matrix also has got many lacunae inside it. And these lacunae are all, they are protecting the cells inside them. And that cells are called chondrocyte. Chondrocyte are cartilage maintaining cell. Now we will be looking at types of cartilage. We will be looking at types of cartilage. The types of cartilage is defined by, it is decided by the kind of matrix. So we have seen that in a matrix, lacunae are found, and in between the lacunae, there is a gap. So this is a gap, and this gap is filled with, it is filled with chemicals and fibers. Now, which chemicals are seen? Chemicals such as mucopolysaccharide, glycoproteins, are deposited in this gap between the lacunae of matrix. Fibers are also found. These fibers are collagen fibers, elastin fibers, etc. So the gap between the lacunae of matrix is filled with chemicals and fibers. Nature of this fiber and chemicals decides the type of cartilage. And now we are moving on to next part, that is types of cartilage. This classification of cartilage is based on nature of chemicals and the fibers which are found within the interlacunar space of matrix. So let's see that. Types of cartilage. Types of cartilage. And the first type is hyaline cartilage. Hyaline cartilage. First type is hyaline cartilage. Now, what is hyaline cartilage? Hyaline cartilage is glass-like cartilage. Hyaline is glass. Just like glass transparency, this cartilage is showing transparency. So this particular cartilage is transparent. It is glass-like. Hyaline cartilage, it has got clear matrix. It has got clear homogeneous matrix. Homogeneous matrix. With very few fibers. Very few fibers in it. Very few fibers in it. And because of that, this cartilage appears glass-like, transparent, and hence it is called hyaline cartilage. Now let's look where you find such kind of cartilage in our body. So let's have a look at the location of this cartilage. It is seen at the ends of long bones, at the ends of the bones, which are making a joint. So they are seen at the ends of bones at joint, where this particular cartilage is called articular cartilage. Articular cartilage, whose function is to minimize friction of bones while they are in movement. So the bones which are adjoined, their surfaces are covered with hyaline cartilage so that this bone surfaces should not undergo friction. Second location is tracheal rings. Tracheal rings. You must be knowing what trachea is. Trachea is a windpipe, and windpipe is a very important organ of respiratory system. It carries air from pharynx to the primary bronchi. Trachea is a membranous tube, and this membranous tube remains to be open constantly. And to do that, it has got a support. So throughout its length, its wall is supported by incomplete C-shaped cartilaginous rings. And these rings are made up of hyaline cartilage. The second location is tracheal rings. Second location is tracheal rings. The third one, endoskeleton of early embryos. Endoskeleton of early embryos. Embryos, they are supported by an endoskeleton which is made up of hyaline cartilage. Later in the development, this endoskeleton of cartilage gets converted into bone. It undergoes a process called ossification and it forms bone. It turns into bone. But initially, when it was formed, it was made up of hyaline cartilage, right? Now we'll have a look at this second type of cartilage. Second type of cartilage is white fibrocartilage. White fibrocartilage. And this white fibrocartilage, as the name indicates, the matrix of this cartilage is showing presence of white collagenous fibers in matrix. As you know, this white collagen fibers, they are very strong, they are tough. So this particular cartilage is also tough, but it is inelastic. This cartilage is tough and inelastic. Inelastic. Now, where do you find such cartilage in human body? This cartilage is seen, location. First, it is seen between the two successive vertebrae. So it is there, it is forming intervertebral disc. Intervertebral disc. Now, what is this intervertebral disc? Inter in between. Vertebral, vertebrae. Vertebrae are the unit of vertebral column. And these vertebrae, they can undergo friction because of the movement of vertebral column. And in order to avoid that friction, these vertebrae are separated by intervertebral disc. So it is a cushiony pad which protects the vertebrae of vertebral column from friction. So intervertebral disc is the first location. Second, pubic symphysis. Pubic symphysis. Pubic symphysis, it is a cartilaginous joint between two pubic bones of pelvic girdle. Pelvic girdle, it is located at the posterior side of the body, posterior end of the body. And it is made up of two major bones. Each bone is called os innominatum. And each os innominatum has got three bones in it: ilium, ischium, and pubis. Now, pubis bone of either side right and the left side. They are connected. They are making a joint on ventral side, on anterior side. And that joint is called pubic symphysis. Now this joint is flexible. It is flexible. In female, at the time of parturition, at time of parturition, due to influence of one hormone called relaxin. Due to presence of one hormone at the time of parturition, that is a relaxin, a hormone which is released from placenta. Yeah, so we have seen that the white fiber cartilage is seen in intervertebral disc, and the second example is pubic symphysis. Now we'll move on to third type of cartilage. Third type is elastic cartilage. Elastic cartilage. Third type is elastic cartilage. What is elastic cartilage? Obviously, it has got elasticity in it because its matrix is showing presence of yellow elastic fibers. Matrix has yellow elastic fibers network. So this particular cartilage is highly flexible. It is highly flexible. So it can be twisted and again it can come back to its original size and shape. Let's have a look at the location of this cartilage. Tip of nose, ear pinna, eustachian tube, so this is tip of nose, this is ear pinna. You can twist it. Again, it can resume its original shape and size. Because these structures, they are supported by yellow elastic cartilage. What is this eustachian tube? Eustachian tube is a tube which is connecting middle ear over the throat. And its function is to equalizes the air pressure on our eardrum. So this tube is also made up of yellow elastic cartilage. It is flexible. The last example is epiglottis. Epiglottis. Epiglottis is elastic cartilage that makes up a sound box. The sound box that is called larynx is made up of total 9 cartilages. One of the cartilage is epiglottis. And epiglottis is elastic cartilage. Epiglottis covers the glottis, that is opening of our windpipe or opening of sound box while we are swallowing something, so that there should not be accidental entry of food into our windpipe. Yeah. So we have seen here elastic cartilage location. It is found at the tip of nose, ear pinna, eustachian tube, and epiglottis. So we have covered a very small part of structural organization in animal. We'll meet in the next session with few new topics and more about it. Till then, thank you. Bye-bye.